All right, fellas, good to see you. Back after a week off. How can I help you?
Rick, obviously you went up against Marvin Harrison Jr. before, but when you look at him on film this year, is there any areas that you feel like he's taken his game to another level, or anything that you kind of feel like he's even doing better than he has in the past?
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s arguably one of the best players in the country, so he's continued to improve. You can see he's a real professional. The way he's prepared, and again, when you're going against players of that skill, they're very dangerous.
I have a two-parter on the two McCords. I'll start with Kyle. What have you seen of him on tape? And I know when he committed to Ohio State before you even got here, but he was a 21 class guy. Did you talk to him at all during the recruiting process, or was he already all Buckeyes and you didn't?
No, we talked a little bit, and I talked to his dad. But you're right, he was committed, and he was all set with Ohio State.
And what do you think of how he's done so far?
Yeah, he's a really good quarterback. You can see, I've been able to watch them on TV, so a little TV scouting. He's a fiery leader, and you can see his teammates believe in him. And he's a young quarterback who's getting better every week, so it's again part of the challenge of playing a team that has so many skilled people.
You mentioned his dad. I believe he was a freshman here during your year as a GA.
I think he might have been a sophomore.
Okay.
But yes, I knew his dad, and I was a GA and I was the box lunch coordinator, so I probably got his dad a sandwich here and there.
Have you guys stayed in touch over the years? Had built a relationship?
I wouldn't say stayed in touch, but I've run across him at times, and he was always a good, fun guy to be around, fun guy to coach. I didn't really coach him very much. I ran the scout team, and he had already moved past that. But he's a good man.
Coach, coming out of a bye week, you have a young quarterback in Gavin Wimsatt, who you've talked about the progress through the season. Do you feel like the bye has been good in terms of just sort of helping along his development?
Yeah, we had a good couple of practices last week, and Gavin got some real good reps. So it's at the stage of his development, reps are critical, and the more you get, the better off you be.
We're going to have a pretty interesting scenario with Desmond Igbinosun playing against his brother Davison.
Mm-hmm.
Curious if you have coached brothers playing against each other in your career, and then also if you could share anything about recruiting Davison, I guess, twice, and that whole dynamic of the family.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if I've recruited or coached brothers that have played against each other. I may have. I've been coaching a long time. Doesn't jump out at me, though. It's two teams playing each other. It's not two brothers playing each other. Although I asked Des, I said, does your mom have one of those split jerseys, half Rutgers, half Ohio State? We did recruit Davison coming out of high school, and that didn't work out. He went to Ole Miss. The second time I talked to him, but he was looking to go to a national championship contender, and he didn't feel we were that. So I understood that we weren't what he was looking for. So that's about it.
Coach, with the bye week and no real view window, has anyone emerged on defense on the defensive end with the loss of Tyron Powell?
Well, we had a three-way rotation going there with Mo and Dion and Tyreem. Now Tyreem is no longer in the rotation, so it'd probably be more of a two-man rotation. But we have young linebackers behind that are preparing and getting better, and just you play with what you have.
Greg, late last year when you guys faced Ohio State, there was a fake punt and some things got a little bit heated. What was the players' reaction after that, and do you think they kind of come into this game with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder?
No, I don't think. I think that's in the distant past, and it had nothing to do with the fake punt. Nothing at all. It was to do with protecting our player that was on their sideline that was surrounded and getting pushed around. That fake punt wasn't called. It was our fault. We didn't put an edge to the punt block, and the kid is taught to roll, and if it's there, you take it. So there's no blame there. It was truly protecting our player. That was it. But feels like years ago.
Do the Igbenosons have that split jersey?
Excuse me?
The Igbenosons, you mentioned you asked Desmond if they had the split jersey. Is
I don't know. I didn't really even stick around to hear the answer. I was just joking with him.
Fair enough. Reggie Sutton, Kirk called him a stabilizing force for the offensive line last week. Obviously, he was an inspirational story, and now he's becoming a fixture on the offensive line. How important has he been to really solidifying that line, and what have you seen from him, playing in his last couple of games?
Yeah, I mean, is he the player that he was before he got hurt? No. Will he ever be? No. But he's certainly a stabilizing force, like Kirk said. He's a mature guy. He's an experienced guy, literally a coach on the field. And what we're trying to do is treat him, like the vet that he is, and make sure that we get him to Saturday where he feels he's never going to feel great, but he feels good enough to go out there and compete. And so far we've been able to do that. This past week was great for him. He did very little, if anything. We'll get him going again this week and see if we can't, one game at a time, see if we can't get him out there and have him be an effective player. But he's great. So happy for him. He's such a great young man and a guy who works his tail off. Many times I asked him, are you sure you want to keep doing this? I literally suggested he hang it up, but he was steadfast in his desire to want to do it. So when somebody does something for so long and then eventually gets the result they're trying to get, it makes me happy.
What have you continued to see from Jaquay Jackson just week in and week out as he continues to kind of be a consistent playmaker for the offense and a really reliable target for Gavin?
Yeah, I mean, Jaquay is where I wish we would have had him now. I wish we'd have had him at the beginning of the year. He missed training camp. He wasn't with us in the spring. Really didn't get here until late June. I only wish we could have had him earlier because he is starting to hit a stride of sorts and getting better each week. Again, it comes back to the question about repetitions. Football is truly a game of repetition, and you can't. There's no substitute for those.
In the big picture, how do you close the gap on a national title contending team like Ohio State? And do you think you guys are getting close to doing that?
Yeah, I do very little big picture when it comes to that stuff. We're trying to be 1-0 at the end of the Ohio State season. We have to have a great week of preparation to do that, and then we have to go play our best game and see where that stacks up against theirs. And I can't control anything about them, but I certainly can us. And that's going to be my focus, that we have a great, consistent week of practice and then go play our best game of the season.
Coach, just to follow up a little bit on Ohio State, on the defensive side of the ball, is there anything in particular that stands out to you about them?
Yeah, they got a lot of good players. Yeah, you're looking at a front that is probably all NFL players. Their front seven will be all NFL players. But the good thing is the back 4 or 5 are all NFL players as well. So you're looking at a defense that is probably, I don't want to be exaggerating. I think every single guy there will be an NFL player, which including some depth players. So it is what it is. That's why they're one of the top defenses in the country. So we'll have our hands full for sure.
Coach, in the last 4 games of the season, what do you really want your team to improve on in the last 4 games?
Really not concerned about the last 4. I'm worried about one, and that's the Ohio State game. And what I said, what I want to see this week is a consistent, great week of practice, and then go out and play our best game of the year.
You've probably been asked this a lot. You guys break the bull streak. Does this feel anything at all to you like 2005, 2004, the early days, those critical years of the first time around?
Yeah, the similarities is we're building a program. I keep talking about the pipeline. And just like then, the pipeline wasn't full yet. We're getting closer. I think this 2004 class, once we get them here, will fill the pipeline. So then when you ask me questions about depth, we'll have more experienced depth. And when you ask me about our frontline players, they'll have cumulative repetitions. We have that in some areas, not all yet. But that's part of building a program, building a program the way we do it. We don't get ready-mades like the team we're playing this week. They get some guys that come in that are, 5-star guys, and, we don't get a lot of those. But that's okay. We know who we are. That's the key to being us at Rutgers is we develop guys. They believe in what we're doing. They believe in the development. And we're getting close to having the pipeline full. And that's where things get fun when that pipeline gets full. So we're getting close. Again, guys, appreciate it. I thought our guys did an excellent job in the bye week. we're dead the middle to the back half of the semester academically. Rutgers is such a challenging school academically. I think our guys made the most of it that way as well, not only in our preparation as a football program, but academically, meeting those challenges. And Jeff Jones, who is a director of player development, he and his staff do such a great job of motivating and inspiring our guys to do what they're capable of academically. So that was a huge thing too during the off week. So I'd be remiss if I didn't comment on that. I think our guys are busting their hump academically as well as building something special here athletically. So appreciate you guys covering us.